Hello and welcome to English Digest.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Angeline. So I don't know if you've noticed a recent fashion trend that's been going on involving bags, okay? But then again, it might be hard to notice because these bags are tiny, tiny. In fact, they're called the Bitty bag, Bitty, B-I-T-T-Y, and it holds approximately one, not two, one AirPod, okay? It's really an impractical accessory than a bag.
Yes, I'm aware of this trend. And to be honest, I'm sort of a fan of this tiny bags.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually bought some of them.
Did you?
Yeah, not quite sure what am I going to
put in there?
Yeah, but still, yeah. OK, 大家有没有注意到呢？最近很流行这些小包哦。OK， 有多小呢？小到只能装你的这个 AirPods 无线耳机这么小的小包哦。OK, so are we going to talk about bags today?
Not really, actually. I just thought I would mention this trend because I found it really ridiculous, to be honest. And I mean, if you can only put one AirPod in there, you're going to have to carry two of these bags. And I don't know where you're going to hang them from your neck.
Yeah, it's probably hanging on your neck because according to a website, like a e-tailer site I often visited, they actually put this kind of bag under the category of necklace.
Oh, so it's not under bag, it's actually under necklace.
Yeah, so it's kind of
an accessory.
Yeah,
okay,
not really a bag.
Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about trends, okay? A trend is something that is currently popular or fashionable. The word trend also refers to a general direction of change, okay? A way of behaving or proceeding that is developing and becoming more common. Aside from fashion trends, we can talk about social media trends like live streaming, okay? And investors, they might be interested in market trends. What is the stock market going to look like? Like, is it going to take an upward or a downward trend of the stock market?
所以这些趋势哦，当然我们可以讲说是时尚的这个趋势哦。比方说我们最近看到这个很流行这个超级小包，但是 trend 这个字呢，可不只是衣服很时尚的这个潮流哦，它通常会翻译为趋势。比方说呢，社群媒体上面现在流行什么，有什么样的趋势，像是现在很流行直播，或者是呢，像我们刚刚讲到这些 investors，OK， 投资者呢会关注这个市场的趋势。今天呢，我们就是要来讨论这个 trend 趋势咯。
So let's take a look at our writing prompt for today, a recent trend in Taiwan.
好的，马上呢看一下我们今天这个写作的提示了。今天呢我们要写的是一篇关于这个台湾最近在流行什么了。近几年呢在台湾最令你印象深刻的风潮是什么？是满街的夹娃娃机和外送人员呢，还是这个环保意识抬头了？第一段呢请根据你自己或是亲友的经验来描述这股风潮。第二段呢请说明这股风潮对台湾社会造成的影响，或者是呢你对这股风潮的看法。注意到呢我们文长至少要120个单字。
Okay, so Taiwan has had its fair share of trends, okay? Even owning a specific dog breed can be a trend.
Yes.
I think the current favorite is still the French Bulldog, right?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yeah.
So our writing exercise wants us to think about a recent trend in Taiwan that has left a lasting impression or a trend that swept the nation, okay? Is it the claw machines on every corner of the street or the number of scooters with the Food Panda or Uber Eats delivery box affixed to the back zipping through traffic? Maybe it's the growing level of environmental awareness in the country. Whichever trend you decide to write about, in the first paragraph, your essay should describe the trend and your experience or your relatives or your friends' experience of it. In the second paragraph, you'll explain the impact of this trend. What impact has this trend has had on Taiwan society or your views on this trend? This essay should have at least 120 words. Okay, so I think this topic is pretty interesting and I can think of quite a few trends off the top of my head.
Yep.
Pokemon was
yes.
and probably is still a huge trend.
Yes.
People who have never heard of this cartoon downloaded the game.
Yeah.
Anything Korean seems to be really trendy in Taiwan.
Yes.
Taiwan has also started a trend in the rest of the world. Can you guys think of what it is?
Are you talking about the bubble tea?
That's right. Yeah.
I read a lot of articles about how bubbles get so popular in Japan. And the Japanese high school girls even created a special term for having the bubble tea.
Really? What is the term? Do you
because
know?
they say like tapioca. Yeah, they call it tapioca in Japanese.
Yeah.
So they have this phrase like tapiru. It means they actually like make bubble tea into a verb.
Oh.
Yeah, like tapiru means like, do you want to go for bubble tea?
Like, let's
go for tapioca. Yeah,
or
let's
it
go
would
for
be
it.
like more like let's bubble tea.
Yeah, that's
right?
bubble tea. Yes,
Let's
that's bubble tea. Yes.
Oh, okay, very interesting.
Yeah, it's a trendy phrase now in Japan. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, once you've decided on a trend you're going to write about, it's time to think about how you're going to write it, okay? This essay will be an argumentative narrative.
Yep.
You'll be talking about the trend from your own experience and then argue the impact this trend has had on society. In recent years, this type of essay has appeared on exams. The first part of the essay will ask you to describe an experience or event, and then the second part will ask you to discuss the topic and draw a conclusion.
好的，今天呢我们要写的是一篇叙述论说文哦。这篇文章呢，你就必须要涵盖叙述以及论说两种文体。那近期呢，在这个学测的作文考题中呢，很常出现这种文体哦。比方说呢，像是这一题哦，你认为家里生活环境的维持应该是谁的责任呢？这个文章里面呢就分成两个部分了。第一部分呢，就是我们叙述文的部分，就要你叙述这个现象、这个经验或是这个事件呢。以我们刚刚讲的这个生活环境为例呢，你可以说，在你们家呢，都是谁在负责做家事啊？谁在负责维持生活环境？那第二部分呢，我们就要针对这个主题呢加以论说我们并且要给它一个结论了。比方说，延续刚刚的主题哦，根据这个经验，你觉得这个，比方说家事不应该都是我在做啊？我觉得呢，应该是大家轮流等等哦。在第二段落，你就要论说你的这个想法、你的看法，跟做一个结论。那我们今天呢，就要来讨论到你观察到的台湾的风潮，跟你对于这个风潮。对于台湾的这个人民啊、社会造成什么影响？你有没有什么看法
？So, of course, as with any piece of writing, we should have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, okay? The introduction should give people an idea of what the essay is about. For this writing exercise, we can begin by describing the trend, or we can start off by talking about the general public's opinion, or even their reaction to this trend.
好的，不论呢什么文章，我们大概都会要给它一个起承转合，要给它这个架构，要有开头，要有文章主体，要有结论。那刚刚讲到呢，这个 introduction 就是我们的引言呢，我们通常呢也会在这里直接带到全文的主旨，让大家呢一开头就知道，我们今天要讨论的是什么。那在今天这篇这个叙述论说文当中呢，建议一样，大家可以直接破题，直接开始叙述到你观察到的这个现象，你的经验。比方说呢，这个我可能一开头就讲说，我上次去买饮料的时候呢，没有给我吸管了，因为呢现在已经被禁用了。那呢接下来我就可以讲一下，这个禁令发生之后呢，是这个比方说怨声四起啊，还是大家都能接受啊？社会上有没有什么变化哦？在第一段落里面，我们就可以来描述你的观察、你的经验。
So for the main part of the essay, you're going to go into detail about the topic. In the basic sample, the author writes about live streaming and how a number of websites and software can support this social media trend. Okay, you could also give some background information as to how the trend started. You'll also need to bring up the main point of your essay, okay? You've identified a trend, but why are you writing about it? Are you going to discuss what impact this trend has had on society, or will you analyze the pros and cons of this trend?
好的，所以呢，刚刚我们讲完开头的引言了，再来呢就讲到我们 body 我们文章的主体。刚我们开头已经破题了，然后呢带到这个描述你的经验、你的观察。比方说呢，我们的这个基础范例文章第一段里面呢就描述什么是直播。那么呢，第二段呢就是要论述的部分了。论述的部分呢，你可以说说自己对这个主题的看法，然后呢，我们要记得可以分析一下这个主题造成的影响，或者是呢它有什么好处、什么优点，或是什么坏处，有哪些利弊，在这个第二段落我们都可以把它带出来。
A conclusion works to remind your reader of the main points of your essay and summarizes what you want your reader to take away from your discussion.
好的，最后呢就是我们这个文章的结论了。在今天的这篇文章当中呢，大家可以简单的总结复习一下你前面提到的这个重要性或是好处，或是呢你也可以对主题提出检讨、提出改善的方法。比方说呢，没有吸管这件事情，可以说一下我观察到的很多人呢开始会自己带这个可以重复使用的吸管，虽然呢有点麻烦，但是呢大家应该都要为环境努力一下。我自己呢也不会再用吸管了。OK， 这样子呢就可以是一个文章的结论。
That's right. Okay, so now that we spent some time developing an approach for how we want to write our essay, it's brainstorming time, okay? So it might seem like an unnecessary step in the writing process, but it actually can be really helpful, especially when you're stuck or having writer's block. So take out a blank sheet of paper and write the topic in the center. Now put on a timer for 5 minutes and write whatever that comes to your mind when you think of this topic. This might sound silly, but if you're stuck, just keep scribbling on the paper. You can even write, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, over and over again on your paper. Just keep writing. Don't put your pen down, okay?
Yeah.
Initially, you might think some ideas are super random and completely irrelevant. But in the end, you might find a connection with those words.
好，所以呢，在我们这个真的开始进入写作之前呢，建议大家可以先 brainstorming， 也就是呢脑力激荡一下了。这边呢，建议大家的做法呢，你可以拿一张白纸呢，然后呢，你就花5分钟的时间呢，把你想到的所有事情都写下来。比方说，你最近生活里面你觉得有什么潮流，是宝可梦也好，是这个选举也好，是这个韩国团体也好，把你想到的任何事情都写下来哦。尤其是当你遇到瓶颈哦，当你不知道要写什么的时候，这个做法其实非常好用。因为呢，这些看起来这个很随意哦，可能没有什么相关的字词呢，其实你写下来之后，好好的把它整理起来，其实呢也搞不好就变成一篇文章了。所以呢，在我们写作之前呢，提醒大家，建议大家呢可以先这个脑力激荡一下，激发一些这个脑中的想法哦。尤其是当你卡关的时候，记得这个很好用。
That's right. Okay. And then after brainstorming, it's time to start writing our outline, right? Okay. And it's time to put all these ideas together with an outline. In the outline, we'll categorize the main points we want to mention and organize our sentences into paragraphs. Let's take a look at the outline for the basic sample. So topic sentence 1. These days, people can host their own shows by live streaming. So we can tell from this introductory sentence that this article will be about live streaming. Okay, it says, they record a video and broadcast it at the same time. Lots of websites let people do this in different ways. People talk about specific topics, play games, and share their lives. Streamers can interact with people watching their videos.
好了，在我们的这个基础范例的第一部分呢，它破题马上就讲了 these days 就是呢最近，最近呢你也可以说 recently。OK，recently 最近怎么了呢？人们可以主持他们自己的节目或是直播，所以主题句呢马上就带到我们作者想要讲的主题，他观察到的趋势呢就是直播。那么他观察到了什么呢？在我们的第一段落的这个文章主体呢，就讲到他的观察哦。OK， 这些直播主呢是怎么直播的？比方说呢，有很多不同的网站、不同的软体呢，来帮助这些直播主做不同类型的节目。有的人呢是聊天，有人是教学，有人是打电动。那这些直播主呢，因为是直播的关系哦，是即时的，所以呢可以跟观众来做互动。
Okay, and topic sentence 2. Live streaming can influence society in many ways. It may let more people get non-traditional jobs. There could also be some negative consequences. People might lose time and money if they can't keep their audience.
好的，第二段落呢就开始论说了，所以呢作者就开始分析，直播这件事情变成潮流之后，对于这个整体社会有什么样的影响呢？比方说，大家对于这个职业的定义开始模糊了 ，OK， 可能是好，可能是坏。那可能呢，大家不知道怎么做，怎么直播，所以呢就开始乱投资，这些呢就是不好的影响。最后呢就接到他的结论咯。
The writer ends off the essay with this conclusion. The fact that anyone can live stream makes it hard to stand out.
OK， 他最后的结论就很有趣了。作者呢觉得，这个当大家都是明星的时候呢，就没有明星了，或者是呢说，当大家都是网红，每个人都是网红，那呢你想要红就更困难咯。
Yeah, that's a very good point. Live streaming is a trend, and I think it's definitely going to be one of those trends that will eventually die off.
Yeah.
Okay, so an outline will help you decide if you need to add more information or cut out any information. It also helps to keep your writing to the point. So once you have your outline done, you're pretty much halfway done your essay. All that's missing is some examples or supporting statements and transitions. Okay, so let us take a quick break before we read through our sample writing. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our basic sample. Basic sample. These days, anyone can host their own show by live streaming themselves. To do this, they record a video and broadcast it at the same time. There are a number of websites and software programs that let people do this in different ways, such as Twitch. Some people talk about specific topics. Others play games. and still others share moments from their everyday lives. Streamers can also instantly interact with people who watch and comment on their videos. Live streaming could influence society in several ways. It may result in more people getting non-traditional jobs, as they can get paid for advertising products or even receiving money from their followers. However, there could be some negative consequences as well. People might devote themselves to live streaming, but end up losing all their time and money if they fail to find or keep their audience. After all, the fact that anyone can live stream makes it harder to stand out from the crowd. Okay, so let's see. What are your thoughts about live streaming, Sam? Do you watch these live broadcasts?
I don't really watch live streaming. I watched for a few minutes and I got bored. Yeah. I think it's because I'm spoiled.
Spoiled, okay.
I like watching shows that's fast-paced and have been edited. Every minute is exciting. Yeah, I simply cannot stand for them talking nonsense or silence. Yeah, Yeah, but that say I'd watch streaming if it's a product launch event. Yeah, things have been planned.
I see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I never really understood live streaming in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think in the very beginning it was more of like influencers or like people who, internet celebrities,
Yes.
they would go on live streaming and then they would just talk or they would sing or it'd just be a nobody who would just like be in front of their webcam.
Yeah.
They would just be singing and then interacting, and then they, like the audience, they would send gifts and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, thank you for sending a gift, that kind of thing. And I never really understood it, so I never watched a live streaming.
Yeah.
But yesterday I did watch a live streaming.
Yeah? How was it?
The only reason I watched it was because the lady sells clothes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So she goes to Korea and she buys clothing. So she's like what you guys call it, daiko,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, so she goes to Korea and she buys clothing and then she sells them on websites. But like with websites, they only have pictures and sometimes you can't really figure out how does that clothing fit or how does it look like and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I was watching the live broadcast so that I could see what the clothing would look like on.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
just a new way of shopping. Instead of you like guessing from a picture and
Yeah.
instead of you going into the store and trying it on, because sometimes that's not a possibility, live streaming is very helpful for shopping.
Yeah, it's like you're watching those channels.
Yeah, like a shopping channel
Yeah,
almost.
like a shopping channel. Yeah, but because it's live streaming, so you get to interact with
Exactly.
like, do you still have that size?
Yeah,
Do
or
you-
I'm size this. Do you think small would fit me? Or like, oh, my upper part of my body is longer than my bottom part of my body. Do you think this dress would look good on me?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, that kind of
that's-
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting. But we probably should go over the word stream since this
Yes.
word has only recently been used in this context. Okay, so maybe 15 years ago, the word stream referred to only a body of running water flowing on Earth. Okay,
Yep.
now the word stream has taken on a new meaning to refer to the transfer of digital data, such as audio or video material, in a continuous stream, especially for immediate processing or playback.
OK，stream 这个字呢，以前指的是这个河流小溪哦，但是呢，它现在就可以指这个直播，尤其是呢，现在是这个4G 时代哦，网络这么发达，伴随而来的呢，就是你以前可能是po 影片、po 文章、po 照片，那现在呢，我们可以直接串流。直接播影片，也就是直播了。那马上这个5G 就要来了 ，OK？With the 5G coming, people are talking about not just video streaming, but streaming games, meaning you don't have to download those titles, but play them lively on cloud servers.
Oh, okay.
I think Google, Apple, and also like PlayStation, Sony, they are doing this, or like VR streaming.
Right.
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine how this gonna work, but we will probably see them in our lives like very soon, maybe next year.
Wow. Okay, so people who live stream are called streamers, okay? Some people make a name of themselves from live streaming, and then there are others who were originally bloggers and influencers, and now they've joined the trend and started streaming. Speaking of which, there's actually a phrase we use when a person joins a trend, and that is to hop on the bandwagon.
OK。Bandwagon 这个字呢，就好像是这个电子花车哦，这种在游行里面你会看到的车辆。那你跳上去了 ，hop or jump on the bandwagon，OK，、你跳上去了就表示你跟上潮流了。那今天呢，我们讨论的就是这个 streamer 直播的人哦，直播主。那这些人过去呢，可能当过 blogger 部落客，或者是呢你很常听到说呢他们是这个 influencer 是有影响者。为什么是 influencer？ 这个动词呢就是影响哦。那因为这些人呢他们有粉丝，他们呢透过这些粉丝他们就会有影响力了，所以呢叫做 influencer， 他们是有影响力的这些人，意见领袖。
These words are really new.
Yes.
Like when I was young, we never had blogger, we didn't have streamer, we didn't have influencer.
No.
Yeah, and if your parents, if they know a little bit of English, you can try to use these words, throw them in front of them, and they'll be so confused. They have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. So the writer mentions an interesting point about how live streaming has influenced society, okay?
Yes.
The writer says more people might get a non-traditional job. So a traditional job refers to probably a 9-to-5 job, okay? You go to work at 9, you get off at 5. You work 5 days a week, and you will likely work in an office. A non-traditional job can be a job that requires you to work maybe 7 days a week, and from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah, traditional 这个形容词就是形容传统的，所以呢 non-traditional 就是非传统的。比方说呢，我们传统的肉粽呢，我们这个肉粽是要用糯米做的，但是呢，假如说你用这个米粉做呢，那它就变成一个 non-traditional， 就是非传统的，没有吃过的。那或是呢，像我们这边在讨论工作，你是这个朝9晚5，你在这个银行、在公司行号上班 ，OK， 这些可能就是这个传统的工作。那但是呢，假如说你是自己接案啊，没有固定的上班时间，或者是呢你是新兴的行业，比方说专门在帮这些直播主想节目企划 ，OK， 那这个呢可能就是比较不传统 ，non-traditional，OK， 非传统的工作。
Yeah, I actually want to try that non-traditional rice dumpling that you mentioned earlier. So streamers are sort of commission-based, which means they may not get a fixed salary every month, okay? Instead, their pay depends on their viewership or how many people are watching them. How many of their viewers give them gifts, okay? If you haven't watched live streaming before, when I say giving a streamer a gift, you're not physically giving them a gift. It's actually a virtual gift, right?
A virtual candy, a virtual flower.
Yeah, or like a balloon or something.
Yes.
Yeah, so pretty much you can buy virtual gifts and you can give them to the streamer. So the more gifts the streamer receives, the more money they make. And obviously these virtual gifts, like they cost money. Right?
Yes,
like
yes.
I have to buy these gifts before I can gift them to Sam if he is a streamer today.
Yes,
yeah.
It's very profitable.
It is very profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, let's take a look at our advanced sample, okay? Advanced sample. Over the last few years in Taiwan, it seems like everyone has been going crazy for claw machines. These arcades have popped up everywhere. In fact, their numbers have nearly caught up to convenience stores in Taiwan by now. Anyone can stop by one of these and play for prizes like stuffed animals, electronics, or even household items. Since the machines are rented out individually, they've become an easy way for ordinary people to boost their income. Despite the lure of cheap prices and colorful toys, I steer clear of these dubious operations. On top of all the waste created by hawking so many useless products, claw machines encourage what amounts to gambling. Unsuspecting players can even become addicted, feeding coin after coin into the slot just for one more try. I think rather than supporting mindless entertainment that churns out junk, our society should try to promote meaningful hobbies and more eco-friendly entertainment alternatives. Okay, so I remember when I was young, claw machines were quite popular, and
Yes.
now they seem to be making a comeback, right? And it's happened very suddenly, too.
Yes, very suddenly. Suddenly they're everywhere. Even my neighborhood, which is not very crowded.
Do you see people go in and play with these machines?
Not many. Yeah, like one or two, once or twice. So
I see. Sometimes the stuff that they offer in the claw machines, they're not very enticing, really, for the most part. Yeah, like I've seen in Japan, they have some very interesting things that they put in the claw machines. And
Yes.
things that make you want to buy them,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Or you want to get them, or you try to get them. But
Yeah.
the ones in Taiwan are not very
yeah,
good, really.
like not very good quality.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Stuffed toy.
Yeah. So sometimes trends that were popular a few decades ago might make a comeback, which is a return to being popular or fashionable.
Yeah, like fanny bags or crop tops.
Yes,
these
they've
days.
definitely made a comeback. Fanny
Yeah.
bags, which are the ones that you kind of wear around your waist,
Yeah.
right? Or you can actually wear them across your chest if you want. And then crop tops are tops that are just shorter. They kind of expose your tummy
Yeah.
region. Yeah, I can't wear one of those. Anyways, you can find these claw machines everywhere. There can be a store filled wall to wall with claw machines. And we call these shops arcades. So an arcade is a place with many games that can be played by putting coins in them. So during my time, photo sticker booth machines.
Yes.
And the Dance Dance Revolution game. Do you know that game?
Yeah, I'm your little butterfly. Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot the song.
yeah, that's
But
the most
yeah,
popular song.
They were super popular, right? At
Yeah.
that time. And then you'd see people like they would literally camp right beside the arcade machine after
Yes,
school. You'll
yes.
see their backpacks on the floor and then they'll just be playing that all day. Yeah.
OK， 所以呢，我们看到这个 arcade 这个字呢，通常就是呢，你要去这个百货公司，或者是呢，你去这些游乐设施会看到的这个游戏机台哦。我们这个大型机台，它跟你这个家里面的 console， 比方说呢，你的 PlayStation、Xbox 或者是这个 Nintendo Switch 不一样。arcade 呢，通常是指大型机台，比方说呢，是我们刚刚讲的这个跳舞机也好啦。或者是呢，像这个打鼓的节奏游戏，或是像今天讨论的这个夹娃娃机，也算是一种 arcade 大型机台哦，游乐设施。
So you guys might be wondering, just as we are wondering, why are claw machines so popular? Well, actually, from the perspective of the person who is renting out the claw machine, it can boost their income, okay? So instead of renting a shop to sell things, you can rent this claw machine and fill it with products and then have people insert coins to try to get these products, okay? And as the writer puts it, unsuspecting players can even become addicted, okay? So the word unsuspecting means not knowing about or expecting something bad that is going to happen or that could happen. For example, fake designer bags are being sold to unsuspecting shoppers. So obviously these shoppers have no idea they're buying a fake designer bag.
OK， 动词哦 ，suspect 就是怀疑的意思。那如果你看到这个形容词呢 ，suspicious 就是形容这个人是多疑的。那在这边呢，我们用了这个形容词哦 ，unsuspecting。OK，、你是不怀疑的，就表示呢你是毫不怀疑、深信不疑。就是呢你在用这些夹娃娃机，觉得一定会夹到。这些人呢就很可能会发展成什么 addicted， 就是呢上瘾了。I think it's very much like gambling. Yeah, you believe the next round you will get the product, and the more you spend, the harder you can give up.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I already put $300 in that machine. I better get that thing.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, so like we said, a lot of the stuff in there is junk, unless maybe there's an iPhone or maybe a Nintendo Switch in the machine.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe I might try, but really those are very difficult to win, right? Okay, well, we've come to the end of our lesson for today. We hope you enjoyed talking to us about claw machines.
Yes.
And what was the first topic that we were talking about?
The
Live streaming,
yes.
right. See how important this trend is. We are totally not on trend.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of our age. I don't know.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Goodbye.
Bye.